Everyone, welcome to episode 88 of the Pickleball Effect podcast. I'm your host, Braydon, joined with Aaron and Kyle. Welcome, guys. Thanks again for joining us. So this week, it is sponsored. We are sponsored. This one is from Pickleball Central, where you're going to find just about everything you need to play, improve. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm trying. So I have my little ad reads. Ever since Aaron did his little read offs for his airing it out, I found the inspiration from him. But because we're doing this virtual thing, I'm having to use my notes. So I'm just going to have to ad lib this one. It's not going to be as smooth.
Braydon, tell me what you like about Pickleball Central.
I'll tell you what I like about Pickleball Central. If you use the link in the description, it's going to just throw the discount across their entire website, balls, shoes, bags, just everything you need. And then they have the rewards program, which I think is a big deal. Every purchase you make an account with them. It's going to save up points like you would do a credit card. So you can put those points towards future purchases and save more money that way. And then the 30-day free trial they have for paddles is a big deal. Not every company does that. Nothing beats testing a paddle. Reviews are great. It gives you an idea of how the paddle plays, but you just don't know until you hit it. So you can take advantage of that 30-day thing with them. So next time you're thinking about buying something for pickleball, come back to the podcast, go in the description, click on the link, and that's going to apply the discount across the board. They don't do discount codes. You have to use that link. So there's the ad read for Pickleball Central. That was okay.
Bam. That was okay.
Bam.
That was okay. Oh, and another thing, if you're trying to get your family and friends into pickleball, they do their mystery boxes every once in a while. That's a pretty good deal for getting people into the sport.
Yeah, I've actually never done one of those. I've seen unboxings.
I've done it twice, and you get like 4 paddles that are like definitely decent beginner paddles.
Did you say definitely decent or definitely
decent?
Definitely decent. Is that like a little bit better than decent?
Definitely decent. They make you hit body bags like Hayden.
Yeah,
that's the sponsor. That's the tagline of the GX2, the original one. Definitely decent.
Definitely decent.
You couldn't hear anything.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's good. So for weekly update, I'm the only one that put a couple things in here. We'll go through those. I'm sure some things will come up from you guys. 3-0 to 5-0. This is mine this week. Airing it out. We never know. It's always a surprise.
Never know. It's good. I gotta tell you. You know what? We'll get to it later, but show's good. Show's good this day.
Show's good. And then we got Kyle's Corner. Kyle, what do we got lined up there?
I just kept it short. Just a couple MLP notes and talking about Braydon getting a little feisty on Instagram. Haven't seen that in a bit.
Yeah. Let him know. Let him know.
I learned some new words during those conversations. Someone said I got Braydon, your comment was ratioed or something about ratios.
And they called you they called you soft.
I am. Anyways, I'll tell everyone what ratio. If you get ratioed online,
I don't know what that means either. So maybe I'm going to learn too.
This is a first for me. This is a first for me.
Even maybe Aaron doesn't know. So it's not like a gen, whatever gen we are at now.
Just missed me. Okay. Just missed me.
Yeah. What's the one that comes after you, Aaron? What gen is that?
Let's see. I'm on the edge of Gen Z, Millennial, Gen Alpha.
Really? Okay. Huh. I didn't know that one.
I don't know. I don't even know. Correct us in the comments. Alpha. We know nothing, please.
Yeah. Tell us what gens we are. I'm pretty sure I'm millennial.
Yeah, we're millennials.
Gens are like a big thing in pickleball. We should know what generations we are.
I mean, pickleball has a broad spectrum. We're playing with baby boomers and we got Gen Zers, it's a broad spectrum.
Yeah, it is. Paddle, Babble, and gear. So I want to talk about the durability of foam, what we know about it. The last couple of foam reviews, I've added some of the pros of foam being the extra durability. Some people are questioning things like, oh, do you actually know that? And so we'll talk about what we do know as far as durability. I got some interesting stats from Carbon to kind of back up, or just not even back me up, but just add some light there. I want to talk about Vatic Pro. So Vatic Pro postpones their V-Core, their foam paddle launch. This was their $99. It was starting to get some serious buzz. There were some people getting behind it. Kyle was getting behind it. Pickleheads was getting behind it. And then they pulled the plug on that. So I want to talk about why they pulled the plug and maybe how that could have been avoided potentially, and just how brands are doing durability testing before launches. Are they doing anything? What are they doing? What are different ways? I don't know. I just want to talk through that with you guys. And I think that's an interesting topic. And then I played the GX2 Power for the first time this week. I have some first impressions there. I don't know if you guys have been playing any other paddles that you're excited about. We can talk about those there too. And then paddle fitting of the week is going to be Subdued because it's getting replaced by Airing It Out. So Subdued. This is not the right word, but you know.
are being subdued. We went from ratio to subdued. You showed both ends of the spectrums there as far as infant to...
Millennials have really good vocabulary, if you didn't know that. All right, so weekly update. One is, okay, I don't know why I get bathroom stories. They just happened in my life. I got a new bathroom story.
Braydon pees on himself a lot.
babe,
come here. Braydon's got a new bathroom story. New bathroom story just dropped.
So this was this is one of my worst ones. It was Kyle and I were playing Friday morning at the Money Ball.
Oh, is this why you're in the bathroom so long?
So we're the way the Money Ball is organized is you get put into a group of 4. You play everyone in that group of 4. Top individual advances to like the next round or whatever.
Group A, and then the second goes to Group B, and vice versa.
A really cool event because it was a money ball, but you don't sign up with a partner. You sign up as an individual. So it's more inclusive. It gets new people into the money ball stuff. I like the new format. I hadn't done that one yet. Anyways, we had just finished the group play. I had taken second place in my group. Kyle had taken second place in his group. So we were in the first group. We were kind of sitting there for a minute. I had to go to the bathroom. So I run to the bathroom. And so I sit down. And usually if you sit, I just had to, usually if you sit down, you lean forward because like, you know, you usually go number 1 with number 2, you lean forward. It's enough for the one to get enough dive into the bowl, but it didn't, dude. It shoots over the lid and just gets all over the back of my shorts. Like it was pretty bad.
You pissed on your shorts? Is what you're saying?
The peed on my shorts is exactly what I did, but it wasn't like a trickle. And so I'm like freaking out. And so like I take them off and I'm like wiping them, just douse them with water, trying to clean it. I got my stack shorts on. They're the Enduras. They're my favorite of the stack shorts. I have no choice. They're waiting for me to go play. Like I have to go out there. Luckily it was on the back. Like it was on mostly the back pocket and down the right side. So I go out there, we start playing. Halfway through the game, my shorts dried. And big shout out to the quick drying factor of stack shorts. This is the second time they bailed me out because I had that other incident at a PPA event last year. Oh, it was bad. This is definitely the worst.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I think it's because it was on the back, right? Like I'm sure people noticed. They didn't say anything. Why would you have half your leg just drenched in water?
I tell you what. The Stack shorts, though. Another shout out to Stack, even though we're not sponsored by them. I've been using them for running a lot too.
Oh,
yeah, I've been wearing them, the tourney shorts and the Enduras for running. They've been great.
Yeah, I haven't been sponsored by them for a while, but I still wear.
Yeah, I still wear all their stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle, you're really not sponsored like Braydon until you take a piss on your shorts and then run a marathon.
They're going to watch this and call them up because that deserves a sponsorship.
Yeah, it was. Anyways, that's my story of the week. And then I have a question on here. Like, Aaron, it's been a few weeks since you've been on. Really haven't talked about what your main is. Like, what have you been playing with? What's your go-to right now?
Okay, so I think main is a dicey word. I don't know if anyone here really has a main. But I've been playing with a paddle that I shouldn't be, and I can't tell you why it's working, but I'm telling you, I promise you when I say this, I have control. The hardest part is resets. It's a power paddle. You guys have to guess what it is. But I promise you, I feel like I have as good of control with this paddle as some other paddles that are in the all court range that I know I should have better control. You ever have a paddle like that where for some reason you just connect with it and you feel like you're dialed in even though technically spec wise maybe you shouldn't be?
Could I go buy it right now? Like, is it available?
Yeah, you can buy it. I want Kyle to go first. I feel like you're circling the drain on me.
Is the shape that you have available too?
Oh God, what is this? 20 questions? Just guess the paddle.
I was gonna say that the ripple and then
shape is elongated. Shape is elongated.
Oh, okay. Ooh,
it's got to be flick. Like that's the one you just got. It's got to.
Yeah, I would agree. Body helix flick. No, but it's funny.
Is it? It's working.
I play pretty decent.
It's
with
working
it too.
Well. I got some GoPro footage we can pop in the pod if we need. An 11-1 game.
Prove that you can hit a reset with the flick.
Yeah, that's definitely the hardest part. I did play some like high level 4 games with a couple maybe fringe 5.0s, and that was where I was really failing me. It was really, really tough to reset and like But I didn't feel like the sweet spot had as much launch as the TruFoam. But I don't know. Sometimes you just pick up a paddle, you just start playing really good. You can't really explain it. And I'm having a blast with it. I totally understand that this is like a bad paddle for me. It's probably like a toxic sports car, and I'm kind of an anti-power person. But man, the last week or so, I've been playing with it every day, and I've just had a total blast with it. It is so fun.
Have you weighted it up at all?
Yeah, about 5 inches on each side of 0.5.
Okay.
So, but it's still, I think it could probably use more weight, just for stability, not to up the power. But man, it's light still.
Yeah, dude, it is fun. I agree with you. Like when I'm playing like equal, and if the people I'm playing with are just a little bit less, not as good as me, like I just crush them with it. And I love it.
Yeah, no doubt.
But then like the opposite, right? Like if they're just a little bit better than me, I'm like, what is it doing?
But I didn't feel like my drops were undialed. Like sometimes I'll launch drops. I felt like mid-court resets, and anytime they were putting pace or maybe some blocks. But I still felt like I enjoyed the offense more than I was failing on some of the defense. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
right. Like that's the line you got to draw, right? Like
yeah.
when you play with these power paddles, like does the offense you gain outweigh the defense you lose? And some cases it works out for you that way. Like I felt that very much that way with the original Ripples that were like super big power, like the Flick is. And because for that same reason where it just kind of worked, I just connected with it. And I was like, I found my soft stuff good enough where I felt like I was winning more points than I was losing.
Yeah, but on the same point, like I tried the new Pew Pew.
Yes.
It's escaping me right now.
The Groovin.
The Groovin.
Yeah, the Groovin foam.
laser.
And I just didn't connect with it. It felt stiff. And I get that it felt like it does feel more dense, and like resets are better. The paddle feels heavier. But I just didn't play well with it. And then I picked up the F1, and so I don't know if I could explain the difference. Sometimes you just got to hit two paddles. Even if on paper it sounds like this is a paddle I know I like. I like these specs. I like these swing weights. I like, this feel. I'm more of a dwelly person, or I really prefer stiff. Sometimes you just got to hit a paddle. And a lot of times you'll know pretty quickly if your game connects with it. And in my I was excited to hit the Pew Pew, and I just prefer the Flick, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm sure in like a month from now I'll have shelved it because my control won't be as good, and I'll lose the fine line of responsibility as it comes to pickleball. But right now it is a total blast, and I am loving that paddle. Yeah,
that's fun. So Kyle, you played with the V-Core at the Moneyball.
I do.
You were like getting hyped on it, and then they dropped the bombshell on you.
The day I posted about it's the day that email came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, well, now I feel bad that I even posted that I liked it.
See, I felt like I was spraying with the V-Core more than I was with the F1.
I still do. I know I do. I'm hot and cold with it, but when I'm hot, I'm like really hot.
But like I know on paper, this is what's so tough about like having too much access to information with all of like the nerd community is I come in with like preconceptions knowing how a paddle should play. But like I would say blindly, I would think that the V-Core is poppier, and you could, statistically tell me the F1's poppier, but I don't know. Sometimes it's like paddles have different nuances. And I felt like my control was much more dialed with the F1 than the V-Core, even though everyone's saying the F1 is the most offensive paddle ever created. So it's just interesting.
Yeah, and sometimes I wonder if it depends on where you live too, because
super hot right now.
Like where it's hotter where you are, where like that extra power probably feels great. You're like, this is the power I usually get in the earlier months of the year or something like that. And I wonder if that could potentially be a factor.
Yeah,
I never actually played the F1 outside. I only played with it indoors where it is faster. And I wonder if I played it outdoors, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, if like, oh, baby, this is the one.
Like with a Franklin ball too.
Yeah, I do think that's a good component. Again, but then you could also argue, well, like Arizona courts right now, the court temperature is well over 100 degrees, and so is the foam heating up. I need to bring out a gun outside and like temp ambient paddles in the evening with some of the foam things that have been going on. But we've been mostly playing with Lifetime balls recently. Not Franklin's, but yeah, you're totally right that I think like the power paddle combined with the really hot heat and the really soft ball, I'm probably getting a different feel on the paddle that's working right now that might not work if I switch to cooler weather or a different ball.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That'll be interesting to think. I think that's the biggest drawback to foam that I've experienced is the temperature differences. Because I remember I was maining the TruFoam. And I just, I know how it feels like. And then I played in a tournament. I think I talked about this a couple months ago. Played in a tournament. It was in the morning. It was cooler. And it felt firmer. It was jumping off a little bit more. And it just wasn't the exact same as as I had played, just the day before in the middle of the day or indoors. And so I do think there's going to be some variance in playability with the foams. Like it's not going to be as consistent across temperatures as a polypropylene core is. So yeah, that'll be something to pay attention to. But like for the most part, it's good. It's close. It's like the extreme stuff where I think is where you see the differences.
We're seeing new foam paddles, mostly all EPP, different densities too. And so really, I think higher level, we've seen TruFoam staying fairly consistent, hot, cold. I remember we were excited as the temperature started to heat up if the TruFoam was going to change at all, but it looks like that one hadn't. But maybe with different densities of foam or different types of foam, maybe they're not all EPP, there really could, or, we're seeing desponding issues with the V-Core. I think there's going to be a lot of variance. And so it's not like all foam changes with weather. It's kind of like the Proton Flamingo. It core crushes because it's got really thin cell size, you're right, inside. And so there's just variance in construction, and there'll be variance in foam that
it's going to be
too many
something we have
factors.
to learn. Like, okay, does the EPP at this exact density,
how does it affect in this weather?
Than maybe something that's a little less. And it's tough to parse that out at the moment because information is still a little bit lighter on that.
You got to dig.
They don't have a ton of foam paddles out, but yeah, I think that'll surface over the time. I bet a year from now, as we're talking about foam, it'll be very much how now we're like, 10 millimeter cell, 8 millimeter cell gives you these characteristics, even though they're both polypropylene cores. We'll be able to say, okay, this foam core is going to give you these attributes versus this foam style, but maybe not, because with polypropylene, yes, you have variance, but you still have the constraints. Like the variants were all the same. It's like it's big cell, thin walls. Like there's only a few things you could change. With foam, like you could have a bajillion different cutouts, and maybe we'll never get to that point. We just have to go play them, and maybe there'll be certain elements we can, I categorize and identify maybe with like EP foam like the densities. But I get the feeling just with these first few that have come out that the style of foam or the different, whether it's cutouts, like Cube published his review of the Groovin, and he's like, oh, there's a surprise layer of foam in here I didn't know existed. Like there'll be so many differences. It won't just be 5-6 things you can change. It's going to be infinity. And so maybe we won't get to that same level as we did with polypropylene, but there'll be some degree of that, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Carbon and Paddle, Babble, and Gear because they're the foams that have been out the longest, and they give us the best idea of what foam could be potentially, and if it's done right, like what how does it hold up with these, because it's the one that's been through different climates or different seasons and stuff. And anyways, I have some numbers there that are pretty interesting. But yeah, that'll be fun.
F1 for me to round this out here.
Yep.
It could be you could say main, or you could be like, what paddle are you it has surprised you or are you really enjoying recently? So Kyle, V-Core, unless you want to change your answer.
No, I've been digging
V-Core?
I've been digging the V-Core.
Braydon?
So Speak Pickleball did his little thing this week. I said J2 NFK, but I'm like, I like it.
K. Didn't you say the K was the worst one?
No, that was my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, because our next video is the NFK versus Carbon 4 TruFoam, and I picked the K because that was the one I liked.
Huh. I haven't got to that part of the video.
But no, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm kind of in between a little bit right now. I'm liking the NFK. Like I'd be comfortable going and playing with that, but I still love my Carbon 2. I still really like the C45 hybrid, but I'm not I was maining the Carbon 2 for 6 months. Like I was like, oh, this is the one, like nothing beats it. But now I'm like, oh, I'm kind of in this muddy in between stage where I'm trying to figure out what that next paddle is going to be that's going to stick around for longer than a month. So I can't say I have one. I'm just like, yes, I'm big on this, but there's a handful of paddles that I'm digging, considering, and liking. And it's kind of matches the stage we're in, where there's a lot of new paddles coming out. They're all really good. And like, I feel kind of dumb just going on the internet being like, it's another really good one. You should probably buy this one too.
Should we start doing reviews of paddles that stink? Be like the top crappiest paddles in 2025.
It's like, I promise they're not all amazing, but there's just there's a lot of good stuff out right now.
Too many.
Any other notes here for weekly update from you guys?
A lot of kids stuff. I went to the NJP, met a couple people that watched the podcast. It was fun. It was actually really funny. The guy's son was like looking at me and he's like, "Hey, you watch this guy on YouTube?" And then he realized who I was and he was like in shock, like, and then like, it was really funny. I guess they
awesome.
watch the podcast every week, and I talked to Courtney, the lady that runs the NJP that we went to her house for the YOLA event.
Oh yeah.
So she was in town for the event, so I talked to her a little bit. And then my son did like a 5 to 7 year old camp, which was really cool.
Yeah, that looks great. Dude, your Instagram post of like Coop's out here acing people. It's like this girl who's just like looking at La La Land and it goes by her, and you're like,
and
Cooper aced her.
Coop's blasting balls with the grooving laser at her. All these kids have like Walmart paddles, and Cooper's got out there with the grooving laser. I loved it. It was good. It was good.
Yeah, so when we played Friday morning or Saturday morning for the money ball, I hung out for a minute afterwards because they were it was during that tournament, and I saw Jordan Briones. He was there. His son was playing it. Josiah, I want to say he's 8 years old. He was competing, but it's fun watching these guys. I didn't see how Boise youth did.
We did awesome.
Did they show out?
Oh yeah,
did we do good?
Everybody we've talked about locally on our podcast was on the podium.
How did our boy? It's Ty and
so it looked like Ty and Trey were on different teams.
Okay.
I think which one was younger? Trey? Yeah, Trey's the younger one. I saw him, I think he was first place in the MLP style event. Was in first, and then I think I saw Ty third, and then on second you had the Quentin's crew.
Yeah, Quentin's crew, they did great.
So
they did good in singles too.
Boise showed out.
Those guys, there's this family in this area. They are at the pickle every day.
Oh yeah.
Every day, several hours.
Training.
It's the dad
real
and
training.
His kids, like legit training, and they're getting good.
Yeah.
They're all really young. They're almost beating dad.
Oh, I was watching him play.
They're impressive.
He was playing singles with his daughter, and she was running him. Like it's not a walk in the park for him to play against her in singles anymore.
No, they're putting in the work, and it's fun to see it.
Lock him on those tungsten deals, young Braydon.
Dude, I should
get him on a deal for life.
They just got sponsored by the Flying Pickle this last week. So
did they? They play Franklin paddles, so you know they need that weight.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep, and they're sponsored by Franklin too. So the tungsten makes sense.
Their Franklin deal isn't like signed on paper, so I'm gonna go get a paper contract where they have to wear PE stuff.
Ooh,
like they gotta wear the shirts. Maybe I'll put Kyle's face on the back.
Yes.
And then I'll
scare
edited by
away.
Aaron underneath that. Shot by Aaron. Photo by Aaron.
Royalties, please.
Photo cred. All right, let's go to 3.0 to 5.0. So this one's mine. Brought to you by Holy. All right, another ad-lib review or ad read for Holy. So Holy Performance does electrolytes. It's a 3-part system. I've been using it. I used it before we did the sponsorship. I've been using it ever since. Really good flavors. If you're not drinking electrolytes while you're playing, you need to. Helps with recovery. It helps with energy while you're playing. A lot of benefits to it. And then they have a 3-part system that's really cool for it. So they have a pre, during, and post, and it's all made for pickleball. It's a program made for pickleball. The ingredients are all good stuff. I did my research on it, and anyways, you can go check them out. Link in the description. Use the code PBEffect to get a discount for their electrolytes. Okay, so 3.0 to 5.0 tip of the week is about routines. So I used to golf a lot, and I will still golf occasionally, but I don't go out as much as I want to. But I went this last weekend, and I just kind of fell into old habits. So like I golfed in high school, and one of the things I always preach to you is a swing routine or like a pre-shot routine. So I have this little thing it's just built into my system now. Before I step up to the ball, like you visualize your shot, you step up to your ball. I do this little thing where I set the ball down and I get my posture correct, and then I'll swing. But the serving routine, or the purpose of the routine, at least for golf, is like you reset your mind, it gets you focused on the shot. It's familiar. It doesn't matter what course you're on. It helps with nerves. There's a lot of benefits to having a routine. And then I started thinking, it's like, oh, why don't we do this or talk about this even in pickleball? When you watch pros, they all have a routine. You watch Ben, he does the double bounce. I don't know if it's 2 or 3, but he does 2 or 3 bounces, then he goes into a serve. They all have the kind of their own little form or routine they do before they serve the ball and start the point. Yep. And I think we all should look into adding some sort of serve routine when we play. Like, especially like right when you make like a bad play, let's say you dump one in the net and then you go back and you serve. If you have some sort of thing you do, either if it's your serve or just before you start the point, something that you do every time that resets you, gets you refocused on the point so you can move on and get ready for the next shot. Even if you do something good, right? Like sometimes, have you guys ever been susceptible of making a great play and then just sucking on the next one, right?
Yeah.
Like,
same guy.
Same guy.
And so this will also help minimize that. Like, okay, you make a great shot, cool. In the past, reset, and then start the next point. And so having some sort of routine, and this is also big in tournaments, or if you're playing with new people, like it's something that's familiar, it's something that your body knows, understands, and what you're about to do next. Mm-hmm. And so routines. The serving routine is an easy one, whether it's 2 bounces to get into, but even some, like there's got to be something you can do before you start the point. In general, you get, I don't know, like you look at Nadal, like he's got all his, baseball signals that he does, his little edge crotch.
Look at Leah Jansen.
Picks his pants.
Leah Jansen. She's got the most famous pickleball one. I mean,
sending Hail Marys pre-serve, yeah.
So something that's something I'm gonna come up with. I'm gonna come up with some sort of routine, just something I do before each point, and see if I can just build that into the system and start to implement some of those things. And a lot of the stuff you may not even realize that the routine is helping you do those things, but it's gonna be like kind of subconscious. And that's the idea of it, is it just kicks your body into
focus,
repeatable, it's muscle memory. It's like, this is familiar. I know this. But yeah, like especially in tournaments, like if I play at the Flying Pickle every day and then I go play in a tournament in Texas, it's you're playing against new people, it's new courts, new climate. There's so many different things. You need something to anchor you that's familiar, that you can take from place to place, and it's the routine that does that. So some sort of routine. Go come up with something. Let us know what it is. Even if it's something funny, it could be something silly, but just something simple, something you could do every time. Well, that's my tip.
I like it.
I like it. Kyle, do you have any? I feel like my routine is like, sometimes I'll just either go touch the wall, touch the fence, or if it's like a chain link fence, I'll like grab my fingers in it and then kind of like pull it like I'm like flicking it a little bit.
Yeah,
Kyle, you got any like subtle reflex? But I think the important part is to do it when you're playing well and you're not playing well, or else I think you could probably cement like if you only like were trying to do it on when you dumped one into the net a couple times, it might like cement negative behavior. And so I think it would probably be good to be consistent and like an all time saying like, this is like a new point leveler than it is like, I'm only doing it in bad times. And so then the opponents are like, hey, he's hitting the fence a lot. Let's keep dumping it to him. Right.
I like that though, because that's something that's not necessarily a serve routine. It's just like a
lot
routine.
A lot of pros tap the wall.
Zane does that, is the one that comes to mind. Yeah. He'll walk back, touch the wall.
QD would look at his dad. Now he's definitely looking at his dad a lot.
Paris Todd, she's
Paris,
really into it. She does that thing where she kind of like jumps, like where she's not looking at you.
Yeah, she looks at the wall and kind of, that's a big one.
They all got it.
Yeah, now that we're talking about it, I'm like, oh man, they all have something.
A lot of them do.
But I've never heard anybody talk about this other than in golf. There we go. We're on to something. We're going to be famous. Okay, airing it out.
You know what? As I start airing it out here, I need to start with 2 things. Thing number 1, we didn't get a sponsor. And I don't know
if we try though. I don't know.
I didn't try.
I really thought that just doing a call in the podcast, some like sponsor would listen. They go like, "Yeah, Aaron's great. This segment's so fun. I'm gonna DM him." I thought maybe I'd get like 2 or 3. I got nothing. And so I don't know if this is an ego check. And Kyle keeps saying, one snap of his fingers, and he can like.
No sponsors have just like randomly DM'd us and be like,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you know what. Yeah, but you've never had a segment this good.
No.
I got no DMs. It's not that good. So, you know what? We ended up that's number 1. And number 2 is when I go to sit down and do these airing it out stories, right? I'm looking at, like news articles online. What are the stories in pickleball? What is memes posting? What's the Dink talking about? What's pickleball.com talking about? And all of the big headlines monthly in pickleball, I go to write a segment about them, and then I check the show notes, and Kyle puts them in Kyle's corner. And so the big ones this week, I'll spoil it. No, I won't spoil it. But I'm always trying to come up with these like clever, would you rathers, and Kyle is always mining my content as far as airing it out. And
That's
so
what Kyle's
this week on
corner's
airing it
always
out,
been, though.
you know what? It's probably me coming in with a similar segment, but you know what? It makes my life tough. And so this week I had to get clever. So on airing it out this week, it's going to be a little bit different, and we do have a surprise sponsor. So here we go. Welcome back to airing it out, where on this week, the science, superstition, and a complete disregard for paddle warranties all come together. Last month, I dropped some real heat. Still no paddle sponsors until one brave soul came in last minute. Shout out to Pickleball Effect for saying, yeah, we'll roll the dice on this. So yes, we're going to do a Pickleball Effect ad read in the Pickleball Effect podcast. Let's see. This is brought to you by Pickleball Effect Shop, pickleballeffectshop.com, makers of the cap, coins, and tuning tape, aka legal ways to mess with your paddle swing weight without stepping on it, and add hand speed, shift balance, and get set up to stay tuned for match day. Check out pickleballeffectshop.com because tuning your paddle shouldn't require a weather forecast or a freezer shelf. That's pickleballeffectshop.com.
Approved. I would like you to run that by me next time, though, just in case.
That was good.
Okay, so this week on Airing It Out, we are going to do rank or reveal, which is all about the underground tech. What the hell does this say? This is what these notes are garbage. Okay, basically rank or reveal. I'm gonna force you to rank an area, and if you don't want to rank a category, then you can reveal on the second side of the question. Okay, so it's basically like an either or. Choose a worse situation. Okay, so rank from most ludicrous to least ludicrous. 1, putting your paddle in the freezer to cool it to help it pass deflection. 2, leaving your foam core in the sun to soften it up and get a little extra power. Or 3, stepping on your paddle to increase sweet spot and break it in. And if you don't want to rank those from most ludicrous to ludicrous, you need to drop a truth bomb. And the truth bomb is, what's the most questionable paddle hack that you've done before a tournament, legal or non-legal? Kyle?
I'll rank. I say the least ludicrous thing. Oh man, I would step on the paddle to break it.
You would?
I would step.
You're saying that's the most ludicrous? Or you're saying I would do that? That's number 3.
Well, I'm kind of saying like that's what out of all those 3, if I'm going to do one of them, it's going to be that one because.
So that's the least ludicrous.
Yeah, least ludicrous. But I say that because the other 2, I feel like a referee would feel it in the surface check when they like feel the grit. They're not going to feel that you stepped on your paddle. So I would go in the order that I would do it is step on the paddle, heat the paddle, freeze the paddle.
Nice.
I guess if you're trying to be sneaky, get past the rules, you'd have to step on it. The other 2 would probably get
caught,
get filled out. But just looking at like the most ridiculous things, right? Like the most ridiculous is number 1. Is that what we're saying, Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say stepping on it is probably the most ridiculous or ludicrous. Like, there's just so much risk involved. Like you might break the paddle, but you also might break the paddle. And then freezing is a lot of premeditation and a lot of work. Right. You have to put it in the cooler. You got to take that to the to the courts to maintain the cool. That's a lot of work. The last one, that was probably the most simple, right? You just set it out. It's pretty easy to do. It's probably the least ludicrous of the 3.
Just leave it in your car.
And I don't think I've done a reveal. I don't know. I don't think I've done anything to like juice up a paddle or something.
Yeah, I've
before a tournament. I don't have a reveal.
Okay. All right. You know what? I wanted to give you a softball round 1 because round 2 is going to really put you in some uncomfortable situations. Okay. So from best to worst, rank these paddle reviewers. Pickleball Medicine, Pickleball Pursuit, and Pickleball Studio. From decent videos to absolute garbage, skip on the Play Now list. Or if you don't want to rank those reviewers, you can name one pickleball paddle brand that you'd be okay if you never hit again.
Oh, jeez.
This week on Airing It Out, Kyle.
Dope.
Oh!
I've actually never hit a dope paddle, but just because of the drama, I'd be okay
fired.
if I never heard that name again, just because of how childish that got.
You heard it here first on the Airing It Out segment.
I'm sure
Kyle
I'm going to get
with
unblocked.
never playing a dope paddle again. There goes your Super Bowl
They're going to
commercial,
unblock
Kyle.
me to DM me and then block me again. Watch.
All right, Braydon, what are you doing? You picking a paddle brand that you never want to see again, or are you ranking reviewers?
I'll just rank reviewers just because you did the other one. That was a good answer, though. That was fun. This is a great question. So one is the one I'd skip first. Is that right?
Best to worst.
Best to worst.
Best to worst. You got Dustin, Chris, and Lewis.
All right. I'm gonna give Dustin number one here. I think he's made some moves. He's really found his zone. He's cooking. He's got his little niche. I watch his videos and I learn something new from him. It's really good. Then, I think I'll put Chris as number two here. Chris obviously has found a rhythm. He's found his zone. He cruises. He does his thing.
They're okay.
It works. And
number two spot. That's fitting.
And Pickleball Pursuit. Love the man as a human. His takes are just basic, So I'm just gonna skip his. And I'm gonna go watch the others.
But Lewis has the sexiest voice.
Nah, they're all great. All of those guys.
Yeah, all jokes except for Kyle saying the dope thing. That one was actually real. And dope, I will be sending this to you, and please go after Kyle.
I also know that Lewis can take that well. Like, if I put Chris in 3, he's going to come at me and be like, Braydon, bro.
Really, Braydon?
Really?
Hey, guys.
And, Dustin, we know him, but I don't know him as well as the other two. So it's probably a safe bet. Put him as a 1.
Yep.
There could be some rage in him we haven't seen before. Yep. So we'll play it safe with this.
Out of those 3, too, Dustin's the one that could probably beat you up too. So
yeah,
I don't know if I could probably distract him with some hamburgers and Diet Coke,
some McDonald's. All right, that's it on Aaron and Out, where we ranked bad ideas. We tried to throw some away, and we pretended it's part of our warm up routine. Whether you freeze it, roast it, stomp it, or kill it, just don't tell your paddle company.
Yeah, if you want that warranty, don't tell.
I was waiting for a question about a Coldplay concert. I'm glad there wasn't one.
Oh, that would have been good. I should look to bring in current events. Nice, smart move. All right, Kyle, over to you. Kyle's Corner.
Brought to you by Slice. I don't have any sitting by me.
I'm going to make you do this ad read.
Oh, that's fine. Slice caps are the real deal. You use these to lower the balance point on your paddle. Use that 1 ounce you put on your elongated, brings that balance point down, and it feels like butter when you're hitting your flicks. Use the 1/2 ounce on your hybrids. Contact them if you want to do a custom design. They are made in America, machined, and they are beautiful. They fit well. And a tip, because I've gotten some messages, if you do install it and it doesn't fit quite right, 1 little wrap of athletic tape and then shove it on there and you'll be good to go.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you.
So topic number 1, the worst trade deal in history ever in MLP that has to be 1,000% rigged. There's no way this was a real trade. This was a demand from a certain player because it makes no sense. Ben Johns and Etta get traded for French, and it's in my notes. Do you have my notes up? The girl I don't even know her.
Dana Funero.
I don't know her.
I don't know either. She was one of their extras, I guess.
Yeah. So 2 absolute rock star players get traded to the Mad Drops for 2. I don't want to be mean because they're still pro pickleball players, but 2 less known players and some cash, which Ben Johns going to the Mad Drops puts the Mad Drops in a serious running because now you got CP and Ben.
Yep.
That's going to be
chicken tenders.
Yeah. That's going to be a force.
And Hunter's good enough where they're going to win a lot of their men's games.
Oh yeah.
He was paired with, he had Roscoe before. Roscoe's great. But when they went against elite teams, they weren't enough. And I think Hunter is going to give you that edge that Roscoe wasn't able to bring.
And then
plus they win any Dream Breaker immediately. They got Catherine. You got
Etta and CP. They're now an elite.
No, so
team, right?
Etta ends up going to.
Etta's not on the Mad Drops.
So Etta goes. It's a double trade. So she did go to the Mad Drops, but then she went to Utah, which makes Utah having 4 starters all from Utah.
Who's the second female?
Kawamoto.
Yeah.
Oh, Kawamoto.
Jade.
Oh, yeah. Still very good.
No, so they're going to be a force though. Jade and CP, and then Hunter and Ben. It's going to be the Mad Drops. Basically they're right there now with Flash and Shock.
Will we see them next week?
Dallas MLP is the next one.
Yeah, so
Not sure.
I wonder if they're playing in that one. There's 2 weekends in a row. So we have Dallas and then Salt Lake's the week after.
If Dallas
so I'm sure we'll
is
see
next,
them in one of the two.
Yeah, it's Dallas.
But
it is Dallas. Yeah.
how do you guys feel about this trade though? Do you feel it was legit, or do you feel this was orchestrated by Ben Johns to get off the Carolina Hogs?
Hey, I heard that they moved the trade deadline days before, or like hours before. It was supposed to end on the 15th or July 16th, and then it mysteriously got moved to the July 21st, and then post trade deadline. The shift back, then the Johns deal goes.
That makes it even murkier.
This is some classic Merc.
Oh man, I had not heard that. Yeah,
but the Mad Drops had to shell though. I mean, those are big contracts, and so yes, like they're trading. I saw the pickleball memes from Pickleball. It was like a person handing someone spaghetti, and then another person handing someone like a MacBook Pro. So it was like computer for spaghetti. But there is a ton of cash involved, and regardless of these aren't like massive other sports deals, right? Like even if the deal's inequitable, like the Hogs are still walking out with like 500 plus grand.
Yeah. Did you see the one where it was?
Is that what made it worth it? It was the money.
Well, it seems like that's all they cared about.
Players,
because they spent no money other than Ben Johns.
Yeah,
and now they're just cashing out. It seems like.
Yeah, like cashing out, expecting the league to end, trying to get some money before it stops, kind of thing.
Maybe they're trying to bleed a little, like get a little cash back before the inevitable, or they know they're gonna get axed and end up as a challenger team anyway.
I was gonna say I saw a meme where it says the Carolina Hogs. It was like the C for Carolina, and then it said C equals challenger.
Yeah. Did you see the best meme was the trade? It was like Ben and Etta for a half-eaten In-N-Out burger. Like it's just like a list of like random stuff.
Well, as we're talking about it, maybe like it kind of makes a little bit more sense to me. The Hogs weren't really in the running; they weren't doing anything.
No.
Why not?
Recoup some money.
Get some money, recoup some money. You're going to go down, find some different players. Winning, competing in Challenger doesn't mean as much anyways. And so...
But the trade deadline shifting thing is definitely something that's fishy.
That was fishy.
I was watching Zane's take on it, but he was saying, like, I would feel, one, this is the first super team in pickleball, you could argue. And two, he's saying he would feel a lot better about it if it just happened before the original trade deadline. The fact that they shifted the deadline back and then the deal happened... that's got bad news written all over it.
All right, that gets the stamp of shade. All right, and then I only kept one other topic on there to keep it shorter for this pod, and that is Mr. Hayden hitting the absolute hardest body bag I have ever seen at our boy Augie.
Yeah.
Drills him.
Yeah, he's so nice.
And it was fairly high, so it was off the bounce. It probably hit him kind of mid-chest.
It was back of the, I thought it was back.
Well, Augie turned because he didn't even
back,
try to return it. He turned. The second he loaded up to do it, he just turned his back.
Yeah. He got smoked.
And this is where I think we have differing opinions. Braydon, what's your take?
Yeah, so they posted this highlight on Instagram, and I made a comment. I was like, "Do you feel good? Like, how do you feel good about that?" Because with my soft little heart that I have, I'm just like, it doesn't feel like a very sportsmanlike play. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And I don't know, it doesn't seem like a fair move or a fair play. And there are a lot of comments. In fact, the vast majority of comments were the opposite opinion of mine. They're saying, look, it's part of the game. You need to have that as an option to open up other shots. Travis Rettenmeyer tuned in. I actually liked his comment to it. He's like, look, it's part of the game. I don't mind. It's happened to me. It's just kind of a strategy you can use and work with. I wish I had it. I'll have to pull up and go read it because what he said I thought was good. And it's fun to hear it from, like, it was nice to hear it from a player's perspective. Yeah. It was like, okay, look, it's okay. Like there are some players that don't necessarily like it. It could be, banned or regulated more in the future, but at the moment, it could be worked in and strategized. But to me, this one was just a little over the top. Like it was just a little extra aggressive. It seemed like there was more behind it than trying to win the point. And it was high and just no apologies, just turned around, fist pumping.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just a little distasteful, and I didn't approve of it, even though I get the other side's arguments, and it's just kind of is what it is a little bit. And I hope, that's just how it is from like the viewer's perspective. It looks, kind of just on sports. It's not a great look to me for the sport as a whole. And anyways, I would like to see that regulated somehow, but it seems like from the player's perspective, it's maybe not as big of a deal as from my, seeing it on TV. That was my take. And like, I don't know, like if I'm coaching some 10-year-old and I want them to be the best player possible, like I'm not going to show them this clip of Hayden's like, look, this is a shot that you need to develop.
Yeah.
Right?
That's some Cobra Kai pickleball.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's Cobra Kai pickle.
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Right. And I don't want to like throw shade at Hayden or anything. Because he's not the only one that takes shots like this. It's like I've seen Tardio do it.
Zane's done it.
So it's not just him. I just think that shot should be regulated somehow. And that comment I made online, I was like, how do you feel good about that? That sounded like it was kind of targeted at Hayden. I didn't mean it that way. It was just like, I don't know. Like, how can the sport, how do we like feel about condoning and letting this happen without anybody saying no, or like, should we think twice about it? But yeah, that was my take. So ratios, this is my ratio story. So someone comments like, man, Pickleball Effect, your comment, I think it's just something ratio. So I had to look it up. And if your comment is ratioed or something, whatever that word is.
Wait, I have a guess what it means.
Okay, say it.
It means you don't have the most likes. You don't have the top like comment, and so your opinion's invalid.
No, it's similar. It's that all the responses were against me. There's no supporters. Like it was a heavy ratio against me. There was
So you had a lot of likes on it, though.
There was a lot of likes, but there was no one like, oh yes, Braydon, I agree. It was
but
all.
who wants to come in and go like with the high fives? Like you're only gonna comment if you disagree, right? Who's
I don't
like
know. I don't know. But the idea of the term is just heavily one sided, and so I was
got it, ratio.
That was me.
Ratio.
But yeah, let's hear your take, Kyle.
All right, so my take on this, and Hayden is the perfect one to talk about. I actually love this shot, and I do feel it's already been regulated because, like, I talked to Jason Aspis about this exact thing. When the targeting rule came out, he talked to Hayden because Hayden is known for this shot. If Hayden does that and he does miss too high, even if it's unintentional, he's getting fined. So, like, it's being regulated. Like, he has to hit him in the body. If he misses and hits him in the face, he's getting fined. So
every time he takes that shot, he's risking $2,500 is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, I mean, if he wants to take the shot, it's fair game. And he's good at it. I mean, we have local guys, like Kenny Ortega is a perfect example. He does the same shot. He'll hit a shot that there's no way it's going in, but it's perfectly at your body. So yeah, you either get out of the way or you're getting hit. And I mean, I think it's just part of pickleball. I don't know if you can regulate it because then, I mean, do you have somebody out there with a speed gun that determines like, ooh, that speed up was too hard at his body?
No, I think, I don't know, there has to be some sort of intention like behind it, right? Like if you get a high ball and you just like they're leaning in and you hit it straight at them and it's like waist high and it clips them, like there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I just felt like this one was just like felt like there's a little malice, there's a little intention to almost like
we lost to you guys in Grand Rapids. I'm upset.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
and
totally.
He was playing great, and he was the best player on the court. He was winning in all sorts of ways. It just didn't feel necessary to me.
I agree.
Well, it also could be he does stuff like that because what's going to happen this week? Everybody's going to talk about him. It's brand building. I mean, any publicity is good publicity. I mean, it's probably no different than
he's not that smart.
I
He's an 18-year-old.
think he's smarter than you give him credit for.
No, I just think he can get away with it, and I don't know, and he can do it. I don't know. I think it's distasteful. You could win a pickleball rally without hitting it a million miles an hour at somebody's body. Like, cause like when you bag a friend, when you like bag someone in a tournament, and it's like just like a good speed up, like it feels good. Like it's a fun shot to hit, but it doesn't mean like I'm trying to like hit the ball as hard as I can to, it's almost like I out technicaled them than it is like I'm trying to hurt them. Like, 'cause that's not fun, right? I don't know. Like
that ball's
I think
not,
you can get
not
bags and you can hit speed ups.
Unless it hits him in the face. And then
just wait. Just wait till someone goes blind, right? I mean, it'll happen. It'll be a lot more than $2,500.
Well, no, then it'll be, that's the thing though. You're taking that risk. If you're a pro, you gotta, I mean, you got to aim your shots. I mean, it was the same shot he hit on the SQ. I mean,
yeah, that's kind of part of what Travis said. He was like, it's a risk. It's kind of part of sports. It's not just pickleball where you could get hurt. And he kind of likes that there's like a physical aspect to it a little bit. Let me see if I can find it because.
Yeah, but like in football, you're not allowed to like they've changed tackling so much. You're not allowed to like tackle at people's knees. You're not allowed to like do a hip drop tackle because there's like increased injury rate.
Yeah,
so
no
like
head
they have
targeting.
like yes and no's on actions that people choose to do because there's bad results that can happen.
Absolutely.
So I think that like laser beam speed ups, hitting it as hard as you can, will only increase like a higher injury rate if somebody does get hit in the face.
But I think that's
And
why
I
they
think,
instituted the targeting
I think you're
rule.
inviting. Yeah, but I just don't think you should like even invite something that could end in something so bad into the game. I don't know. And but then again, you want to measure intent. You want to say like, you're right, this went above 90 miles per hour at someone's neck.
It becomes real.
You're right, that's subjectivity.
Gray.
That's another review. Totally.
We don't even have refs. We don't even have
refs.
refs that can call serves well. So, like, I
agree.
feel like if we add too many rules, it's just it would
For sure,
destroy the game.
overregulating ruins it. But I can't say it's a great look when somebody just hits like a million miles an hour because they're upset or angry, or they can do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like fun pickleball. It's not like a intense rally.
So
I don't know. It's
I
just
will
like
say it is a bad look as far as like somebody is going to see that, and then somebody at the park is going to do that because they saw it. I do
Totally.
agree with that, and they're not as skilled as Hayden. So somebody's going to be out there and going to blast Jane in the face because they thinking they're hitting him in the body because they saw it in MLP, and then Jane's going to fall backwards and hit her head. So I mean, I do think it does. I mean, that's not his responsibility to worry about the emulation of him on the public courts, but that's going to but that is going to happen.
There's trickle down effects. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Boo.
Well, there you go. Let's hear. Let's see if we get ratioed here in the comments of this week. If everyone's against Aaron and I, and on pro Kyle.
Pro Kyle.
Well, but it'd be fun to hear some multiple opinions, and if we think this is an issue that should be regulated more, if it was okay, or maybe it was distasteful, if it was taken too far, if it was fine. But yeah, it'll be fun to kind of hear the comments here again. But yeah, I was just looking at the post, and there was like 30 or something responses under mine. It was kind of a surprising back and forth that happened there. All right.
That's it.
Is that everything that's it for Kyle's Corner? Okay. Paddle, Babble, and Gear. Paddle, Babble, and Gear brought to you by ADV. So these guys are the makers of high quality bags. They use the bag I use is the Pickleball Backpack V2. I'm a big fan. I've been using it for months. I love the extra organization you have, but still big enough to fit your shoes and have some extra space. Your computer you can take to work. It's a good bag. I love it, and you can go learn more about it. Use the link in the description. Use the code PBFET to get a discount there. And I've recently fallen in love with their sweatbands that are really they're really good. A little bit thinner, catch the sweat well. But they don't feel like they're in the way as much as other ones I've tested. So thank you, ADV. Okay, so two topics here. One is foam durability, and then we'll talk about Vatic Pro and what happened with them pulling out or just delaying their VCore release. So yeah, just fielded a few comments about foam durability. Is it legit? Is it something that is actually a benefit of foam? And so, of course, some of this is still up in the air a little bit, although every brand is saying that this is, no core crush, there's these no break-in period, and these are like some of the big benefits to foam. And so, to get some sort of concrete data or information, I messaged Carbon and I just said, would you mind sharing your return numbers? Like how many just percentages of foam paddles versus your other models for the last 9 months? So they just pulled the numbers from the last 9 months, which is, I think they launched their TruFoam 7 months ago. So largely just data of since the TruFoam has been around. And this is what I think this is the best information we have at the moment. And they said that warranties are down 83% compared to their other gen stuff. So for every, so they sell 1,000 paddles, they get 100 returns for non-Gen 4, and then they'll get 17 for their foam paddles. And like, that's a huge discrepancy. Like that's a big difference. Massive. And so I think that speaks to the durability. Then on top of that, he says the returns they do get, even a smaller margin of those are correlated. It's usually like, like a rattle or like the edge guard comes off or something along those lines, something that's not correlated. And so I think this is a really big number or a really cool, like just some hard data that we have that speaks to the durability of foam. Maybe not all foam is equal to carbons. Carbon, we know, worked really close with their factories. We're doing this for a long time. They found a formula that works. Their paddles are performing there. And even online, like I haven't heard, I think the biggest complaint I've heard is like the rattle with some glue getting loose for carbons. Outside of that, like I really haven't heard much about durability issues. And so I do think there is some validity to these claims, and I've kind of been blanketing it a little bit. So I can say, okay, look, maybe I shouldn't do that across foam, shouldn't apply that statement to foam across the board. Yes, maybe it's true for carbon, but it's not necessarily true for all foams. But so far, so good on the durability side. And, as we learn more, maybe I'll back off. But the big thing for me is like, I'm just no core crush, no break in. Like the paddle just stays the same longer than a Gen 3 paddle. I'm going to play with my Flick for 3 weeks. I'm going to go hit Aaron's, who's been playing it for 2 months, and they're going to be largely the same. Whereas like Gen 3s just have different stages. Like I've had it for 2 weeks versus, maybe one Aaron's had for 3 months. They're going to feel and play differently because of the break-in and that stuff. And that's what I want to get away from. That's why I'm excited about foam, especially foam filling in the power category where Gen 3 is so prevalent. Like I'm ready to get Gen 3, in the rearview mirror. And so it's fun to see these kind of some hard data to back up the durability of foam instead of just the kind of intellectual nature of why foam might be more durable. So I don't know, any thoughts on that from you guys?
When we did our 2024 paddle of the year, we talked about trends, and Kyle said 2025 was going to be the year of
durability.
And 6-7 months in, pretty cool stat to see.
There it is.
Core crush has been around since polypropylene has been in plastic paddles, and so for even whatever, you're right, there's a large spectrum of foam paddles coming out, and so we kind of need to pause and analyze a little bit before we say all foam is safe. But even just an early successful launch such as the TruFoam,
the potential's there.
It's an amazing stat. And so I wouldn't expect to see that data within the first 6-7 months of 2025, but I think we are all grateful for it. So that's amazing. Kyle, what you got?
A few things. One, that's an insane return rate. I think just us talking about that, other brands that if they hear that are definitely going to be looking at foam, because that is wild if they're not having to warranty, near as many paddles. That's awesome for any business. Again, I'm loving the durability. Also, I do have to point out, since we talked about the 2024 podcast we did at the end of the year, not only was I right on the durability, but then I gave Franklin the flop of the year, and they come out with an amazing paddle. So obviously people are listening to what I'm saying.
Obviously. I'm sure the Franklin board watched that.
And they're like, we got to come up with the C45. And
I don't think they were thinking about that or worried about that at all beforehand.
No, they weren't until I brought it up. So,
if they were, Kyle, I think they would have released the C45 in like January, February, all of them before foam paddles started.
Well, C actually stood for cupcake. Actually, it was for
the cupcake 45.
So do one callback and his head balloons.
So let's talk the Vatic Pro situation. So just a quick history or just situation context. Vatic Pro sends out their foam cores to all the reviewers. Everyone's starting to put more time on them. They're prepping for their launch is going to be for the end of this month. It was going to be a $99 foam paddle in all their shapes, all their handle lengths. They paid for the marketing. They were geared up, ready to go. They send out an email to us this week saying, hey, we are aware that there's been some desponding issues. We are going to postpone this launch. And some more information into the desponding issues that happened. So talking with John Q, when he was doing his heat test for the foam paddles, he did it for all of his paddles, foams that he had. He left them out for the sun for 2 hours, and then we ran numbers, and Vatic Pro was the only paddle of the foams that desponded, and it happened to 2 of them. And so he told Daryl over at Vatic Pro, he's like, hey, so what I experienced, just to be aware. And then Daryl, they were able to replicate what John Q did, and then they decided, hey, let's pause this. So one, kudos, I think, to Vatic Pro for doing that, because they had to have, like, the sunk cost on this is probably really unfortunate. I'm sure they made a bunch of paddles already. You know, they invested in a bunch of marketing, getting everything prepped, ready to go. Like, there's a lot that goes into a paddle launch, and to just hit pause like that a couple weeks before it happens, when you're not forced to, I think is really mature, and they're just taking the hit and going to move forward and make a better product. But also at the same time, I'm like, man, how did this not come up before?
Yeah.
How I don't think it's good that reviewers are finding the potential issues and flaws of paddles like this. Like, this isn't the first time this happens. I don't want to put shade on Vatic Pro here, because this has happened before, where reviewers have come across issues with paddles, but there's these situations where, like, I feel like these things should be happening in the R&D phase. They should be coming up there. And so I talked to Daryl about it. I was like, what's your R&D process like? How did this potentially, slip through the cracks? What's that look like? So he told me the way they do it is, I guess I have it written here, that, they have about 15 or so people that they'll send test paddles to. They'll send prototypes to. They'll send 5 to 10 prototypes to these guys at a time. These are people who are experienced. They're good. They're in different parts of the state, so there's different climates. So he's hitting different, different things that way, different stress tests. And he's like, these guys are all really sharp. They know how long it takes them to break in a paddle. If they do break a paddle, they know they break a paddle. And so they're not just like random 15 people, but he'll send them to these guys, but he does send them a handful, 5 to 10 paddles. They kind of whittle down to their favorite prototypes, and they'll play with those a little bit longer. But they did all this testing earlier in the year, and then they were going to do a summer launch. And so a lot of their testing wasn't done during the climates we're seeing now, which I think is where, they kind of ran into the snag of heat with foam. And we know that heat is going to be, if there's going to be an issue with foam, it's probably going to be during the summer months. Anyways, there's this process they go through, and I'm like, okay, like, I don't know, do we think that's the best process? Like, is that enough? Do we expect companies to do more? Like, I know that they're feeling pressure to come to market with paddles quickly. Like, they got to, foam is really big right now. I don't know, like, how do we feel about that situation? Like, any thoughts come to mind?
I mean, I think that's probably more thorough than some other brands we're seeing, honestly.
But, like, I don't know, what's a good way to test this? See, I like programs like Body Helix has their like sandbox program. You have like Rhombus has like an ambassador program where ambassadors can buy their paddles. And then there's the Selkirk has their labs. Like, I like programs like that. I don't think anything beats putting things out in the wild for like legitimately out in the wild like that. But you have to be pretty far along the process to get to a paddle you want to release even to there. It's like, it's kind of this tough spot for brands to be in. And I don't know what the best answer is, because if you want to get to market quickly, you kind of have to you have to skip over some of those a little bit. You have to take risks. But I would rather see people come out later with a good product. Like, you look at the Franklin C45s, for example, they're Gen 3. They came out a year and a half. But that's my favorite Gen 3.
Yeah.
And it came out way later after we've seen all the tumultuous stuff. And so, like, if I'm a brand, like, I almost wonder if it's better to like skip this first wave,
and come in later, and do a little more testing, especially with something that's so new like this. And I like the idea of what Body Helix is doing and what Rhombus does with their little sandbox, get into ambassadors' hands for feedback. And like, these are people who's meaning the paddle. They're not just testing the paddle. Yeah. And I think that's when you run in, if there are challenges, that's when you run into it. I have a question that Braydon, you might actually have the answer to, since you manufacture some products. So say, because they're having a disbonding issue, say it's due to like this batch was manufactured using, not enough adhesive or something. Does the actual factory eat some of that cost, or is that all on the brand? So like, if you produced your tungsten tape and say they messed up the adhesive and it's falling off all our paddles, do you just eat all that product, or do they have some liability in that for not manufacturing it to the spec it was supposed to be?
I haven't had that scenario, so I don't know exactly. Okay. I would hope that they split the cost.
Okay, well, that's what I'm like. I'm hoping like they don't have to eat all of the cost, because I mean, it's obviously some kind of flaw.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, I'm sure it's going to cost them money.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But I don't know. there is an advantage to being early, right? Like coming to the market
First
with the
to market,
paddle because
yeah.
there's going to be more hype and more interest. And so it's a tough line that brands have to kind of toe. And, you can win both ways, I guess, depending on how it's done.
If you want the spotlight, you run the risk of failure. I think that's all it is. I agree that I'm surprised we haven't seen more foam core issues to date. I think you're right. It has been surprisingly pretty well. Not a lot of desponding, right? We haven't really seen, there's some foams heating up in heat, but sure, that makes sense. Again, but yeah, I mean, if you want the spotlight, like maybe in a month or two, we're going to see a lot of foam paddles on the market. Like after a lot of these release and these pre-releases are over, and there's some even we know some more foams that are coming down the line. Yeah. Like in a month or 60, 90 days, like I'm really curious to see what the rec courts are like, and like what percent of people using new foam paddles. And so I just think if you want to win the headline, you also run the risk of failure. And so I do think Vatic's doing it right by pulling it back, reformulating versus selling a bad product, and then just doing the overwhelming refund game. Or if we have an infinite, we made 5,000 of them, it's fine. We'll sell 1,000 and we'll keep the 4 for replacements every time they disband.
Right.
Some companies do that.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, again, I feel bad for Vatic to a degree, whether it's negligence or accidents or, a lot of different things. But this is the second power paddle that they've had to pull back.
That's true.
Right. Yeah. It's really unfortunate.
So it's just we haven't seen a lot of that. So, I don't know, Daryl. I don't know the R&D. I remember when we talked to Tom from Selkirk, it was like half of it was he's like, what, the subjective approval or the testing, and then the objective. You need the data, you need to run the paddle through the test, and then you need to put them in the wild and see how it correlates.
Yeah.
And so, I think these are just what's tough about being a smaller company, maybe not having access to high-end equipment that could maybe do these tests, or maybe it's creating new tests that don't exist yet. And
from the factory side, because the factories are running into this for the first time. They're part of the solution.
So we've seen 5+ years of failures that has made a measure to improve. And so I think Vatic's failure with desponding on these foam core models will lead to other people who make future foam cores not ever have the same issue because they had it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it just sucks.
I think it's going to play in their favor though, because they got a lot of feedback other than just the desponding, like the playability, the power level, the stiffness level. The one thing about reviewers, I think that's really unique, is we've hit so many paddles. We can kind of slot paddles into the market better than your average person who's doing your play testing for you. And so he got so much feedback, kind of like free feedback, that is really, really useful and helpful, and it'll make they're going to make a better paddle. Like a lot of the stuff
they're going to tone it down a little bit, right?
They're going to tone it down a little bit, and they're going to pay a little more attention to the feel to make it more consistent and a little less stiff. And I think do both of those things, and they launched that thing at $99.
It's going to be kill.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
I will say, Body Helix, Honolulu, all these paddles that are releasing in July that were about to get eaten up by the $99 foam budget. They got so lucky
they
did not get undercut, because they're going to be the first wave of foam paddles, and then over the summer and as the fall starts, we're going to see new ones. But man, they were everyone was like J2 NF and the flick and the pew pew, and then Vatic was coming in saying, anybody seen $99, right? And so the fact that that's that truck pulled in and then now is slowly beeping out, all these companies are
thank you. We can survive another few months.
Yeah, but
it makes me wonder too, though, in these early stages of foam, do you think it's worth for consumers to take a risk on maybe a Body Helix or a Honolulu where it's so early in the stages, or is it better to wait, to only buy with the Carbons and the Selkirks, all these other maybe bigger brands that are coming out with foam, because potentially they've done more R&D, they've done more testing. You start there, and then as foam gets more developed, then you start to look at the broader foam market and buy from the smaller brands. What do you guys think?
I like what you're saying. I think that train of logic makes sense, but I'll say the reason why I will say buy now and maybe buy later is prices are good now. All of these companies are coming in sub 200. And so I think if they were doing A-list pricing at 250, 280, maybe I'd say pause, wait for some of the big boys to do R&D, put them in the oven, see if they despond, come out with the tried and true, because backed by Selkirk's lab of innovation. But considering a lot of these paddles, 160, 180. Not to say like we know everything, but they've done pretty well in the reviewer circuit for a month or two. I would definitely say like there are amazing options on the market right now. So my vote is buy now and buy later. But under sub 200, like the risk is so much smaller. You're not buying a $280 paddle that's core crushing, right? Like that's what's been okay.
Yeah. And like Honolulu and Body Helix in particular are brands that at least I've known for
a long time,
a decent amount of time, at least a couple of years. And we've seen them make quality paddles in the past that have performed well. I'm getting hit up, on Instagram and email now from brands I have never heard of offering foam paddles. Those ones are the ones I think I would be more tentative to purchase. But like in this case with like Body Helix and Honolulu, like their track record is, like they have a track record, right? Like there is something there. They've been talked about in reviews. They've been in the community.
They're reputable brands. Yeah.
They're like they still have a reputation versus some of these other brands that have been messaging me lately saying, "Hey, try my foam paddle."
Yeah. Buy at your own risk.
I've never heard
buy
of
at your own risk. It might be amazing. It might stink.
Yeah. And so that's something I think are the ones you kind of want to be aware of, or not aware of, but more tentative with.
What do you think, Kyle? You buy phase 1 foam paddles, sub 200, smaller brands with light affinity, or do you wait for the big boys to make a foam paddle, tried and true, and you buy a month or two later?
As the consumer right now, I would skip the super high end stuff and I would buy the Honolulu or the Flick, and then.
Well, there's not too many high end yet. We're like saying, like, do you wait for the high end?
I wouldn't.
Is he leaking information?
No, because
is he saying he's aware?
You still have carbon. You still have the 008.
Okay,
I'm saying I would come in at that 180 level now, right in the middle. They're reputable brands. Totally. You want to blast balls? Grab the Flick. You want a little more control? Grab the NF, and then in 6 months. I mean, Again, I'm getting DMs from brands I've never heard of too. There is a flood of foam paddles coming. So I think in 6 months, it's going to be drastic difference.
I've only gotten 2-3 hits so far, but yeah, this is the first time in a minute where I've been hit by like just people I've never heard of.
I'm sure it's the same brands, but
yeah, probably.
I think there's a huge foam wave coming though.
And also, I think it's easy. Like you buy a paddle, you're really excited about X, and then like Y comes 2 weeks later on the podcast, and then you're sitting there with X that just arrived at your door, and you're like, "What? Like, is this even worth it?" Both the J2 NF series and the Flick have been moments for me where the first time I played them, I was just like, "Dang, this is cool."
This is fun.
Like you'll hit a paddle and you'll go like, "Meh." Or you go like, there's something here. Both those paddles, something's there. And so you don't need to wait for something in the future that might be better. If you're excited now, that's why it's so easy to recommend paddles that are great, that are sub $200, 160, 170. It's like they are awesome paddles.
And they're not going anywhere.
Like I would, just slot into what works. All court plus, low power, high end power. You want to make a bad choice and buy the Flick like me, and play ultimate power. You're gonna have a ton of fun. But there are really good options already that are really good price points.
So last bullet point here for Paddle Babble, we're going to talk about the Gearbox Pro Powers. Aaron, Kyle, you guys spend time on these yet?
Gearbox doesn't send me paddles.
Yeah, shout out. What's our Gearbox rep? You know what? He sent me an email. Aaron, I got you.
Oh, I sent him an email.
Oh, you haven't got yours
I sent
yet
him an email and he just ignored me. So,
well, I'll send an email tomorrow and see if he replies, and then I'll forward it to Kyle with a paddle of the year.
Yeah, let's respond there, because Gearbox has been good about getting us both paddles in the past. But this is one I think we're going to want to make some content around, because to your point, Aaron, every once in a while you'll hit a paddle where you're like, oh, this just feels right. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I
like this. That's kind of what happened to me with this one this weekend. It's got a very unique, just experience. Like it's not a foam paddle. It's not a polypropylene. It's got its own thing going, but it feels right. And how like you were talking about how the Flick kind of just like listens to you, even though it doesn't feel like it should. That's how I felt with this paddle this weekend. The only issue I had with it was my drives were a bit high. But other than that, like I found my soft stuff. I found my drops, like everything felt really good and connected. And I was just like, oh, this is exciting. I want to go play this again. And so I think there's a lot of potential with this one. The numbers look great on it, especially compared to past Gearbox stuff, as far as, the stuff we pay attention to. Gearbox hasn't always been in the same wavelength with reviewers as the importance of some of these numbers we paid attention to. But I don't know what was the reasoning or thinking or the difference with this one. But we have an edge guard, we have numbers that look more familiar and feel better, and I think it plays better. So I don't know, but this one is something that I'm excited about. I think could be good, and they also make claims that it's like the durability is even better than foam. And the way they explain it, like intellectually, it makes sense where you have that carbon fiber rib structure. You're not going to, you don't have the same risk with disbonding or with potentially the foam compressing over time after you get a bajillion hits. And so they have some stuff that makes sense. So potentially, like, this is even a step up in durability over foams, which is a cool idea. But even that aside, I thought the performance was pretty unique. The power level, when I do my radar gun tests, it's like nose for nose with the Yola. I need to go hit those side by side, but because I was like controlling it so well and so quickly, I was like, there's no way this is like Yola power, but I think it has some kind of sneaky power to it. And I'll as I get used to it and I start kind of laying into it more and finding the power, and I'll see where that fits. But it's definitely a power paddle, but it felt great. Just connected, I just listened, and I was just excited about it. And so I want to put more time into that one. That could potentially be a really good paddle. But these guys are the premium, which is always a tough one. Like, this is $280. They are doing codes for this. So was it $28, 10% off if you use PB Effect. But it is a more premium paddle. But if the durability is legit, but then you kind of, anyways, there's a lot of good paddles right now. And it's like, man, is it worth justifying the extra $100 for something like this? But it does play well. And it is something I'm excited about and want to put more time on, and it had a positive first impression with that one. And it kind of felt like the same, like with the first time I hit the NFs or like the C45s, we're like, this is exciting. I want to play it again. Right. It's not just another review. Yeah. And anyway, so I got that. Kyle, I'll have to give you the elongated, at least let you put some hours on that one. So they sent me an elongated and a hybrid. They didn't send a standard, so I'm assuming they're just launching with a hybrid and an elongated. But you can at least put some time on that. And Aaron, let's get some of these in your hands.
I'll try.
Yeah,
I'll try to email them again too.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's something to keep your eye on. That is releases August 7th is when they start shipping. Pre-orders are available now. Don't just go rush and buy this. Like, give me a minute to go put some more time on and see if more experience, more time on the paddle keeps that same first impression. But it was a positive first impression. And
we're only saying that, I would assume, because of price.
Yeah, because of price. I want to make sure everything checks out. And maybe I was just having a good day. I don't know. But it definitely felt good. But yeah, that's gonna finish this off. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Aaron, Kyle, appreciate you guys.
Have a good